Over the last 30 days, I have set a standard for myself, and then I lived up to that standard.
Being magnetic is not something you do. It's something that happens to you.
Attraction is not a choice. Attraction is an instinctual reaction.
The same courage that you use to sit with shame is the exact same thing that you do when you choose to walk up to a girl you find attractive.
I just watched her attraction for me grow. Ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Hey guys, welcome to Practically Famous, where we help you achieve mastery in dating and inner healing. I'm Brad, your host.
And I'm Jake, your co-host.
Another epic week for Practically Famous.
Yeah, pretty epic week. I'd even say one of the most transformational for both me and you.
I think I would say this has probably been the most transformational week of my entire life.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. What a crazy week. I'm approaching day 30 right now on my 90-day challenge. I can't believe how fast this has gone by. And the things that I have achieved and the things that I have unlocked this week have been truly groundbreaking for me. First of all, I'm just going to say I'm 30 days in. I'm on day 29 right now. So I'm just going to say in these first 30 days, the no PMO thing, full-blown semen retention, has absolutely shifted so many perspectives for me about myself and about life. Mm-hmm. I feel so much better about myself and who I am. I feel so grounded in my identity as a person. I'm learning to really start to see what people are talking about when they talk about a lot of concepts in personal development, such as not needing the validation of others and needing the validation of yourself, not being needy. Because it's always like, okay, I understand these things logically, but how do you do that? Mm-hmm. And I always really struggled with that. Because I would be like, okay, well, I just need to not get the validation of others. Mm-hmm. But then I go out and I'm like talking to girls and I'm clearly seeking validation. Mm-hmm. So how do I change that? How do I shift that? And I had a lot of breakthroughs this week about that. And essentially, if I could really boil it down to a single word, I would just say integrity. Mm-hmm. I have, over the last 30 days, I have set a standard for myself. And then I lived up to that standard. What does that mean? It means I am able to live my life in the way that I think is best. I don't need somebody else to come in and do it for me. I don't need somebody else to tell me what to do. I set the standard. Mm-hmm. This was not a standard based on what anyone else said. Now, obviously, I've had influences of people telling me, like from the internet, oh, try NoFap. Oh, try semen retention. And so I just decided to try it. I didn't do it because someone told me to do it. I did it because I was suffering an addiction. Mm-hmm. And I knew I needed to break out and I didn't know how. And I felt like this was the only way. And I've tried for years to break the addiction from no PMO, and it just was always unsuccessful. Mm-hmm. So I'm still kind of almost racking my brain about why it's finally happened. It's probably a whole mess of reasons, starting with the fact that I just went through a giant life change by moving out here to Arizona. I came out here to live a different life. So getting out of my old life has definitely been a factor, but it didn't happen right away. I've been here like 7 months now. It didn't happen in the first 2 months or the first 3 months or the first 4 months or first 5 months. So it's finally happening now. And I've been kind of building up to this. Mm-hmm. I have had streaks earlier this year where I knew that this needed to happen. I felt like this was the one thing that was really holding me back in life. So I've been practicing it this year and I've had some good streaks, but this is the streak where I just feel like I finally got it.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but from my perspective, it seems like the depth of your journey has really expanded since you got to Arizona. So you couldn't be going out and doing the things that we're doing now, going out and being magnetic 7 nights a week and not figured out that part of the equation for you, right? So your life is now demanding that you step up into a new level of, like you said, integrity and self-leadership, including finally moving past your addiction.
Absolutely. And I still have another 60 days to go on the 90-day challenge. And, addiction is a very lifelong journey that I'll probably constantly be on. But typically they say after 90 days of abstinence, your brain is mostly healed. So that's what I'm really aiming for right now. So I know that I still have these next 30 days are going to be interesting. They're going to be uncharted territory. So I don't know if it's going to be harder or easier, but I do know that over the past week, it's been easier than ever to not be tempted to do that because I'm just in control of myself now. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge thing that I've been experiencing. Like, this is a powerful feeling. Mm-hmm. I feel like a powerful man, a powerful person, because I can hold all of this charge that is built up inside of me right now. Mm-hmm. Right? We talk about nervous system and nervous system capacity. That's really what's happened is my nervous system has grown and developed the capacity to hold all of this sexual energy within me. And that is being redirected outward now into my life, into my creative tasks, into my social interactions. I can tell that girls are just absolutely responding to me differently now. Mm-hmm. Black and white difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I do want to go back to one thing that you said earlier about validation, right? This retention journey has helped you to not seek validation. And when I think about seeking validation, I think about, why is it that we seek validation in the first place, right? Because when we get it, we feel good. But the practice of retention is you retain that sexual energy, and sexual energy feels good inside of you. So you're literally filling your own cup, i.e. filling your body with good feelings, so you don't have to go out and ask for good reactions from women, from anybody, right? Because you're literally feel good inside of your body.
Absolutely. And I have begun to equate this whole idea of like my seed with my good feelings, my seed with my validation. Mm-hmm. It's like, as long as I'm holding on to it, I'm good. I don't need anything else because I have the most valuable thing that I have to offer this world. And I feel, and maybe this might sound a little ego driven, but I feel like I am set apart from other men now. And I want to be careful with that because I don't want to base everything on like an external, like, oh, well, I'm comparing myself to these people. And maybe more than anything, I was just comparing it to my old self. I'm definitely a man set apart from the old way I used to be.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. That's a good perspective to have, if anything.
Yeah. So I feel this level of confidence when I approach a girl that's like, I know you aren't getting other men like me, because men like me are so rare. How many men can actually go 30 days on semen retention?
Probably not many.
Very few. Yeah. But I really feel set apart in so many ways. And I can't even imagine what 90 days is going to look like. Mm-hmm. I came to a very, very powerful realization this week, because on this 90-day challenge, I told myself that I was going to go no explicit internet material and no masturbation. The no orgasm was only supposed to be attached to those things. I told myself if I have sex, then it's going to be okay to orgasm and to release. But because of how I've been feeling on this journey, I've actually been thinking to myself, even if I have sex, I'm going to refrain from orgasm, at least for the rest of this 90 days, because I'm seeing such dramatic results from it that I actually want to hold on to it. And that, like, wow, what a difference in my identity. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm talking about. What I went through this week when I said the most profound week of my life. Why has it been that way? Because I've gone through a profound identity shift. I see myself differently. I'm a new man. I even kind of feel it right now. I feel like in the way I'm talking. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm talking a little slower, a little deeper, more confidently, with more conviction in my voice. So much has been happening lately. And I'm associating all of that with retaining my seed. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yeah, now even if I have sex, I'm not going to come. Mm-hmm. I am going to withhold everything, at least for the remainder of these 90 days. And even after that, maybe just get on like a schedule of how often I can orgasm or release, rather than, okay, now I'm good. I'm just start releasing every day again, because it's so valuable. And I would say, because I used to think that semen retention was just a load of crap. Mm-hmm. But after the experience, like, so if you're listening to this and you're like, why would you ever do something like that? I really can't explain to you how powerful it is if you haven't experienced it for yourself.
Yeah, as soon as you start tapping into what really sexual energy feels like inside your body, then you're like, oh, I get it now. This is a real thing, and I really feel different when I release versus don't release.
Yeah, because I've seen, videos on like YouTube and the internet stuff about doctors who will be like, oh, well, the science doesn't actually support the claims of semen retention. And I'm like, guys, if you haven't done it, don't talk to me about the science, because it is radical. Even if it's only placebo, which I really don't think it is, because some of the physicality things that have been happening are insane.
Yeah. The question I would have there is, can science also explain why sometimes some people walk into a room and the entire room understands that they just walked in and some people don't? What does science have to say about that? I think it's also the same thing. I think it's energy. I think it's flow of energy that's happening that science just hasn't caught up to yet, right? It's a real thing, but we just haven't been able to develop the systems to measure it, to see it, to understand it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so much of what we're doing is very like energetic based, and how do you explain these things and these concepts? So we're just trying to figure it out. Essentially, that's what this whole podcast is about, is like us just figuring things out.
Yeah, I mean, we're literally called Practically Famous, with an emphasis on being magnetic. Like, of course, we're figuring out like the stuff that doesn't really, it's real because we all can feel it, but it's not real because we can't measure it.
Yeah. And so much of it too is like your energy, that magnetic energy that we talk about, right? Is that so much of it's just being blocked. This is why I was talking about inner healing on the beginning. We've talked about inner healing a lot on the podcast. If you have all this negative emotion suppressing you and blocking your natural energy and magnetism, you're not going to be able to draw other people in. You have to deal with your inner demons. And that's what this journey has just allowed me to do. Mm-hmm. All my emotions, all my repressed emotions that I used to numb out or escape from are now rising to the surface. Like, because I also want to be clear, I had a few really, really dark and difficult moments this week that actually led to the breakthrough. Once I got that breakthrough, I felt just like a different person. My walk was different. The way I speak, I was mentioning, is different. My performance in the gym has gotten a little out of control, actually. I have never been this strong. My bench press, I've been setting records on it, and like my muscle fullness, the way I look, I'm on one of the best physiques, probably the best physique I've ever had in my life. I'm 36 years old now.
Oh yeah, dude. They're like, get those weights off of Brad. He's out of control. Yeah. It's too many. Too many weights over there.
This guy again.
Yeah. Oh no. We don't have all the weights, Brad. You got to leave some for somebody else.
Yeah, and this is just talking about the semen retention side of everything that I've been doing. This is not even to talk about the social side of what I've been doing. Been going out every single day still. So 30 days of going out every single night, absolutely life-changing. And like I mentioned this past week, some really, really big epiphanies. So last week I mentioned I was going to start doing, or that I had started doing, improv comedy. Game changer, absolutely. Love doing it. And I also mentioned, this is interesting, I mentioned on the last episode, because it was Sunday night, I actually mentioned that I was thinking about getting into country dancing. And what did I do? The very next day, on that Monday, so Monday this past week, I went and found a class and I took a class. And that changed a lot of things for me, because it's a partner dance. I wasn't doing line dancing, which is just like a little choreographed solo dance, basically, that everyone does as a group. I was doing like the partner country swing dancing, where I'm dancing with a girl and actually leading her around. And I learned in an hour and a half of that lesson more about leadership and male-female dynamics when it comes to leadership than I'd ever experienced before in my life. Mm-hmm. It was so insane, because I realized, one, how much of a responsibility leadership is. They were teaching us the dance moves and everything. And it's really up to me as the leader to guide her through the dance, right? She just kind of is there allowing me to guide her, right? So I'm the leader, she's the follow. And I just went alone to this thing, hoping that there would be a girl to dance with. Thankfully, there was like a bachelorette party there with a bunch of girls, so it was easy to find a partner. As the night progressed with this girl, we were just talking about the dynamics that we were learning, and she was telling me sometimes it's kind of hard for me to just shut off my brain like that because I'm a very, go-getter person, ambitious, like I'm trying to finish my PhD. I live alone, like I'm an independent woman kind of thing. And she's like, but this has actually been really nice for me to just be able to kind of shut off my brain and let you lead. Obviously, because I'm into all this like game stuff, I know what she's saying. I know she's basically saying like, it feels nice to be a girl and not have to be so in my masculine. Yeah. To be in my femininity. And I could see it clear as day, dude. From the beginning of the lesson to the end of the lesson, I just watched her attraction for me grow. It was absolutely insane. And it really solidified in my head an old concept in pickup, right? Which is that attraction is not a choice. Attraction is an instinctual reaction to certain behaviors and traits and so forth. So the fact that I was leading her and that I was doing it effectively, I was doing very good at the dance and being able to, guide her through it and kind of even keep her on her toes a little bit and tell her, hey, stop anticipating. Like I even had to tell that to her a couple of times. Stop anticipating what I'm going to do and just let me take you through it. Because when she tried to anticipate, it would fall apart. Because what if I wanted to do something different, but she thought I was going to do something else? We mess up the dance moves and it didn't work. And that taught me so much about like being in a relationship with a woman, even whether it's, a short-term relationship or a long-term relationship, how important it is that you have to be the leader and know what you're doing with her, but that she also trusts you to do it. That is so key. Like I had to build trust with her throughout the course of the night as we were learning the dance. She didn't trust me at first. She didn't know who I was. We just met. Right. So, and when you could tell when we first started dancing, we're a little stiff, we're obviously like, we're touching each other and it's like, oh, I'm touching a stranger.
I just met you.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of, even for me, it was a little awkward at first. But as the night went on, you could see how we both like our comfort levels, our bodies relaxed, and she was able to really kind of shut off her brain as she went. And like, as the night went on, she would get more giggly and I could just see her getting into her feminine energy. And when that happened, when the polarity started to grow between us, the attraction started to grow as well. And yeah, like I said, I didn't even ask her. It wasn't like I asked her anything. It's just, I could see it. I could see it in her eyes. I could see like, wow, like it feels so good to be led around by this man and everything.
Yeah, truly attraction isn't very complicated. It's pretty simple. It is just polarity, right? One person taking the masculine pole and the other trusting enough to let herself fall into the feminine pole. It's simple, maybe a little bit more complicated to do in practice, but at the core of it, right? If I had to tell guys that like, guys who are confused about why things aren't working for them, just understand polarity.
Yeah, it's so key. And it really helped me see where I am not showing up as a leader in the rest of my interactions with women. So it was very inspirational to me to see, wow, because even when you're just maybe approaching a girl for the first time, doing a cold approach, you don't know this girl, how you really have to, even in that scenario, really lead the interaction. You have to be in charge and you have to say, hey, this is where I'm taking the interaction. It's okay. Just shut off your brain and just go with me. Like I'll make it fun. I'll make it flirty and you're going to enjoy it. But you have to have the confidence in yourself to do it, because so often I've been the kind of person who would just walk up to a girl and it's like, hey, how are you doing? Just kind of hoping for her to
give you
respond.
A sign.
Yeah, to give me a sign, to respond well to me, to give me the permission to lead. No, that's not how it works. Just take the lead. Take the lead and take her somewhere that's fun, that she's going to enjoy. And when she can do that, when she sees that you're leading her well, it's not going to happen immediately, right? Just like with the dance, it didn't happen in the first 30 seconds. It didn't happen even in the first 5 minutes, right? But it was a slow process that happened. The more she saw she could trust me to lead, the more she fell into her feminine energy and the more her attraction grew. It was so fire. So I actually went back to country dancing a few days later and took a girl that I did know that I'd been seeing. And because I was like, I want to see if the same thing happens, bro. Absolutely. And now I'm even like I was already, okay, so I already had this one experience where I kind of got good at it. So I was even better at leading this time. And yeah, it's like, yeah, they can't help it.
Yeah.
They can't help it. If you're a masculine man and you're leading, it's game over.
Yeah.
Like they can't help it. Attraction is not a choice.
Yeah. And I like what you said. Attraction is not a choice, but leadership also has responsibility.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I agree. It's not a choice, but in that moment, as the masculine pole, you're responsible for that, right? You're responsible for her safety, for feeling what she actually needs, you know? So I guess what I'm trying to get at is that it's not a choice, but it's not something that should be abused, right? True masculinity is, you know, like we said, it's guiding her to a better place than when she was before she met you.
Absolutely. And I could even see moments when I was in the dance, I had these thoughts that would run through my head where I wanted to almost ask her, I was like, oh, well, okay, which dance move do you want to practice now? And I caught myself doing that a couple of times. In fact, 1 or 2 times I even said it out loud, but I actually caught it and I was like, you know what? Doesn't matter. I'm in charge right now.
Yeah.
That was just so important for me to see because I could see that program running in my mind.
Interesting.
That program of like, hey, what do you want to do? What do you think would be best for us to do now? And I'm just learning that I just need to completely cut that thread in my mind. Like it's over. That's not how it works anymore. I'm not seeking validation. I'm deciding now.
Yeah.
And I trust myself to decide. Like a lot of it comes down to your self-trust. Do I trust myself to lead this girl? Am I responsible enough to lead this girl? Right? Like these are deep level questions you have to ask yourself as a man.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be able to talk to girls and I want to be able to get girls and I want to be able to have more sex. Like, okay, great. Do you even trust yourself?
Yeah.
Why should a girl trust you?
And I'll even go a level deeper and feel free to
Thank
push.
God.
Yeah. Feel free to push back at me because I'm curious about your perspective, right? Because I think you and we learn about leadership in different ways, but I agree. You know, in the beginning, it's about more or less feeling into what you want to do and guiding her there. But I think as you gain experience in the arena of going out and of leadership, you start to be able to feel, what does this girl need from me right now? Like, what is the truest form of leadership in this moment? And I'll give you an example of what that looks like, at least for me. So we were at Almost Famous this Friday, and we were there. We were having a great time. Honestly, one of the best experiences I've had at Almost Famous. I felt like I was doing pretty good with leadership at that point in the night. And what I felt that I had brought us to that place, brought the energy to that place, but then I also could feel when the energy dropped. Not because of anything that happened, because I think we got tired. So then that was my signal for my own internal leadership to be like, this group needs something else from me right now. So then I said, okay, what does it need? It needs to go to a different bar that's less energy. So then made the plan, executed the plan. I thought it was a really good way to down ramp the night, you know, made this transition very smooth for us. But that came from leadership, but also understanding what are these people that I'm leading, what do they need from me right now?
Yeah.
What is the highest form of leadership?
I agree, because I had a moment like that earlier in the night as well. So we ran into a couple of friends, just like a little context. We ran into some friends at a bar called Wasted Grain that we like to go to. Friends that we'd actually met from the boat party that we talked about a few episodes back. And so we were talking to them. There's 2 girls, and we were at the inside bar of this place, and it was really loud in there. And we were talking there for probably 15-20 minutes. And at some point I was like, it is just so loud in here. Clearly we're all engaged and having a fun conversation. So I made the call, hey, let's go out to the patio where it's a little quieter.
Yeah, that was a great moment of leadership.
Exactly, right? So I was doing the exact same thing you're talking about. I'm feeling the vibe of that moment. A lot of times if we're talking in the loud bar, it's like, well, it's only going to be a 2-minute conversation anyway. But once I notice oh, hey, we're all having fun and we're all vibing out, let's go hang out on the patio. Because
that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's too much to just keep doing this in here. There's too much stimulation. There's too much competing volume and noise. Let's actually go somewhere. Since we're enjoying talking, let's just go somewhere and enjoy it.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And then, right, because then I was a little more low energy, and you sense we need to go somewhere higher energy. Let's go to Almost Famous.
Yeah.
Right? So we did a good job kind of playing that off, with the leadership, which is good, right? That we can be out there and trusting each other's leadership.
It's so important.
Oh, it's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, having a wingman,
perfect, because at the time that you sense that we needed to move, I was locked in with that girl. So I wasn't sensing I wasn't sensing the group, I was just sensing her. And so that's where you felt the energy of the group as a whole and brought us out there. So,
yeah. So yeah, that was a great night.
Yeah, it was a good night.
The other thing that I just wanted to kind of mention for my week is how important I'm finding it that I just have so many things to do. Now I have this country dancing thing that I'm going to start doing regularly. I have my improv comedy classes. I've recently rediscovered karaoke as a lot of fun. So I have all these things that are kind of going on for me now. I have things that I can invite people to, because so much of that, you know, a lot of guys, they want to meet girls and then they want to take them out. So they always have to be constantly finding like dates to do, right? Like, okay, well, where do I want to take this girl on a date? Do I take her out for food? Do I take her out to a drink? Which bar do I go to? How am I going to handle the logistics or whatever? Whereas I'm like, I barely have any free time. I got so much going on right now. I'm just inviting girls to what I do.
Yeah.
Right. So like I said, I did the country dancing class. I liked it. So I wanted to do it again the next, a few days later. So I invited a girl that I've been hanging out with. I was like, hey, I went country dancing. It was fun. Come with me because I'm going. Right. So just come with me and, you know, we can learn the dance and it'll be a good time. I always have something. And yeah, if I'm going out to the bar or club, I can invite a girl to that too. But whatever I'm doing, I'm just realizing, even if I'm just cooking dinner, I could be like, hey, I'm cooking dinner. Come over. I'll feed you.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Actually, so I've been doing that lately too. So all these things that, you know, develop a life so that you can just invite people to do the things that you're already doing. That's so crucial. Because I think we kind of talked about this. I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, where it's just like, you can't invite a girl to come over and just watch YouTube videos with you or to play video games with you.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have something going on in your life because girls are social creatures. They're not going to want to just live like this solitary masculine life with you.
Nope.
Right? Guys can do that. We can be happy with so little. We can just like, yeah, we can go out in the woods and just chop down some trees. And
honestly, I love just walking in the woods with
right?
No stimulus at all.
Nothing wrong with that at all. But girls, they need the stimulus. They need the social life. And so when you have a social life and you have good connections and you know people, girls really respond to that.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, so my week, absolutely epic. What was your week like?
My week was good. I got notes on my week.
All right.
Yeah, so I think overall, you know, this weekend was probably one of the most transformational weekends for me as a whole in terms of how I feel about myself and also, you know, my leadership in terms of just how I lead my life and, you know, in relation to going out, but more just about me and how I lead myself. This week, it was a challenging week for me. I think that, you know, you had a fantastic, super successful week, and I was very supportive of that, but it didn't mean that didn't challenge me. It challenged me a lot. Like I had a very deep, like day and a half where all this stuff was coming up of, you know, Brad's doing all these fun things and I'm limited because like that's just where I am in my life. I have a 9-to-5 job. I have things that I have to do. And that does prevent me from going out all the time. I wish I could be out there with you.
Yeah.
And to see all the amazing experiences that you're having, obviously I have happiness and joy and gratitude, but it does turn the mirror back to me, and it arises, you know, feeling like I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, all this stuff. So I had to sit with some really, really dark, difficult emotions this week, and it sucked. It sucked so bad, but I sat with them a lot, and at some point it just kind of broke open. And I was just filled with gratitude after that. And I reached out to you and just shared that gratitude. And for me, it showed me that like the path of leadership and the path of healing are not different. You need to learn leadership to lead yourself to healing in the same way that healing helps you increase your leadership capacity. They're kind of one, like they're side by side.
Yeah.
So the more that I learned to compassionately walk myself into shame and come out on the other side with gratitude, the more I can learn to walk up to a girl and bring her to another bar. It's the same internal nervous system processes that support each other.
Oh, that's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah. So that's something that was very clear to me this week. And I was really proud of my leadership, of my ability to sit with the challenge, the darkness, until gratitude and love arose from that. So I think that was a powerful moment for me.
Yeah. So how do you kind of allow those things to arise within you? Because I think that's such a valuable skill Yeah, I even was a little bit it's like, oh man, Jake had all these things arise. Let me see if I can get them to arise, right? Do you have like a process, or is it just a time-based thing where you just allow it to come? Obviously, you're not distracting or suppressing, but what's that process look like for you?
So give me more clarity on what you're asking. How do I know that things are arising, or how do I get them to arise?
How do you get them to arise?
But that's the whole thing about arising. It's not something I do. When something spontaneously arises, it's something that happens to you. I even said this to you, I think sometime this week, that being magnetic is not something you do. It's something that happens to you. You have to give yourself the platform, the space for magnetism to arise. In the same way that you give yourself the platform and the space for difficult emotions to arise. It's the exact same. What does that look like? Slowing down. Awareness, embodiment, non-judgment of what's happening. The more that I've been having such profound, I found NSDR, non-sleep deep rest. I've been doing it so much over the last couple of days.
And so explain real quick just exactly what non-sleep deep rest is.
So non-sleep deep rest is a process of going into a very deeply relaxed space without going into sleep. And how you get there, there's a couple of modalities to get there, right? Breath, awareness, right? So can I focus on what I'm feeling? You could use sound, you can use movement. Like all these things, what they do is they bring you from the noise of the mind into the physical space of the body. That's what presence is. And it's so important. It's amazing how subtle emotions and stuff can be, but how powerful they really are. And the subtlety of them is what requires you to calm the noise to then feel them. So really the reason that I can have profound experiences arise within me is because I've increased my ability to feel them. I'm not drowning them out anymore. I'm not suppressing them. It's a difficult process because the more that you get into it, the more you feel and the worse you feel, and then you kind of come back. So you train yourself to sit with the uncomfortableness.
So you've been doing non-sleep deep rest.
Yeah, I've been doing non-sleep deep rest, and it's been really it's really helped me to become able to sit with emotions. And when you sit with emotions, they always have a gift on the other side. I'm convinced every single sensation in your body is there for a reason. And it even comes back to being calibrated when you're out, right? In my opinion, a big part of calibration is being able to read the field, all of it, right?
Sure.
Yourself and the people around you. When you feel into your body, any slight tension means that there's a little bit of uncalibration there. But you can only feel that slight tension when you've quieted yourself.
Oh my God, I'm so into this right now.
Yeah.
Tell me more, Jake.
Honestly, so that Thursday was good for me. Friday had an intense letting go of many different layers of who I am. I healed some of my shame from my childhood, all this stuff. And like, even now, how I feel in my body right now is so much more calm and relaxed. I'm so much internally, the volume has been turned down. And I can even feel over the last couple of days that we've gone out, I can feel everything so much. Like there's that one moment where like I can feel when you get tense in a situation. And and because when you get tense, I get a little bit tense too.
Sure.
So it sends a signal to me. So,
Same, yeah. I felt some moments last night where I felt you tense up. I was like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
Am I okay?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
But I remember Thursday night just seeing you. I was like, wow. I don't even know who this guy is.
I was feeling it.
You were so relaxed. You were such a vibe on Thursday night. Not that you're not a vibe now, but just because I hadn't seen you all week until Thursday night. And I was like, dude, you walked through the room like smoke trailing you or some shit. Like I was like, ooh, fuck yeah.
Honestly, I could feel the smoke, the energetic smoke. Like I literally could feel my energy going outward and like flowing outward and leaving a trail behind me of goodness because I gave myself the space to, I let go of the tension that was within, and then from that place, natural energy arises, right?
Yeah, and some of this stuff, I know it sounds kind of woo-woo. It's like, oh, I could feel the energy going outward and stuff. But like, guys, stuff is real.
It's so real. It's one of the realest things I've ever, it's really one of those realest non-real things ever,
Yeah, I know. I've had experiences like that where I have felt that, or experiences where I could, like you were saying, literally see the energy of the room. When you are so present and so aware, so in the moment, those are the kinds of things that happen to you. Yeah,
absolutely. So find a system for you that gives you the ability to continuously process, continuously let go of everything that's happening in your body, right? Your body is the vessel for which emotions arise. Your body is the vessel from which magnetism arises. It's the portal from the energetic world to this world is your body, through your body. So if you want to be magnetic, learn to feel your body.
That's so huge.
Yeah, so that was Thursday, and then Friday I had a big breakthrough, healed a lot of my sexual shame. Did a NSDR right before I went out, and like literally as soon as I brought my awareness to my body, it just flooded my whole body. It was amazing. It was so amazing. And then I went out, I had a pretty solid night, like a really good night for me, I thought. So
yeah, Friday night was great because I had been through all my big breakthroughs early in the week. So by the time Thursday night rolled around, by the time Friday rolled around, I was still feeling great on Thursday. So Wednesday, I felt like it was Wednesday during the day where like my big identity shift took place. I was floating, and it was in that float that I was like, whoa, I'm a new man now. I'm different. Wednesday night was super fun. Thursday night was super fun. Friday, I was exhausted. I had been through so much.
Yeah.
So on Friday, I was more than happy to allow you to take the lead while we were out, and you were crushing it. So I was filled with gratitude in that moment. I was like, one, I'm so happy, because you're my boy and that you're feeling good and you're leading well and interacting well. And two, I'm tired and I don't want to do it. So I was like, you know what, Jake?
That's funny.
You do your thing. I'm here just to support you right now. Yeah. Friday night was great. You did such a great job that
Thank
night.
you, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. So I feel like I'm a changed person as far as I just feel lighter. I feel relaxed. I feel energy in my body all the time. And I think that, I think we've talked about that you and I kind of have a different flavor of game.
Yeah.
And I think that, I like to lean into my flavor. So yeah, I think I'll keep doing that. So
Hell yeah.
yeah. And then Saturday was good for me too. I think Saturday, it was a breakthrough for me. I don't know how much of a breakthrough it was for you, but it was just such an important a moment for me. So we went to the party, went to a friend's birthday party on Saturday. Overall, I thought it went pretty well. It's much different than it's a lot different than the social situations that we're used to, like bars and clubs and music festivals. So it was okay. I don't think we needed calibration, but it was just very obvious that it wasn't the same.
Yeah. Different vibe for sure.
Yeah, different vibe. There was, and we talked about this yesterday. There was a moment for me where I thought I'd done really well, and I had felt like something between us was off.
Yeah.
And I was really proud of the fact that I was like kind of angry about it for a while, and I sat with it. But then it gave me a gift, right? The reason that I was angry was because I care a lot about this process. I care a lot about Practically Famous. I care a lot about who we're becoming.
Yeah.
And so I hold us to a standard because I see our potential. And so when that is violated, my body tells me that that's important to me via emotions. And so if I wouldn't have sat through that, I wouldn't have gotten the nugget of wisdom. And then beyond that, I felt that I'd taken that experience and I felt that I had really presented it honestly. And I just felt good about that whole process for me. Like that situation and the way that I could see my own self clearly, it made me feel good about my leadership. And this isn't even really, I don't bring this up I think that what we talked about is settled. I'm completely clean with it, but I just am acknowledging that for me, that's what self-leadership is to feel deeply, to process it, and then to show up and communicate clearly with love.
Yeah, and I think it's really crucial to let people in is like we have moments, we are in a friendship relationship, and we do have moments where we have to talk through things and communicate like, hey, when you did this, I didn't like it, I didn't feel this way, or hey, I think that we can hold ourselves to a better standard here. So we have to, continuously set our own boundaries and communicate expectations and develop our relationship as we go. It's not just about girls all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the level of integrity that we do that with is insane in a positive way. Like,
I think it's pretty fire, yeah.
Yeah, like really shouldn't be, we should acknowledge that because that's a huge part of what helps us grow, but that's a huge testament of really that we're walking the talk. We're not just doing this, we're living it fully. The reason that we're going to touch people's lives and help men is because we have gone through the fire ourselves. It's the only way.
Yeah. And it's so valuable to have someone that you trust and that you know wants the best for you to give you feedback. Because there's always going to be things about yourself that you don't see.
You lack the awareness.
Yeah, it's hard to be self-aware. Even though I feel like we do have a lot of self-awareness. In fact, this girl I've been seeing the past couple of weeks, she mentioned that to me once, like directly. She's like, I just love how self-aware you are. Because with her, we just been talking about a lot of deep stuff. And obviously I've just told her everything that I'm about and how I move through the world and the things I'm learning and how I'm growing. And the only reason I'm growing so much is because of all the things that I'm aware of. And she's, maybe, I don't know maybe she's fascinated by how self-aware I am, or she just appreciates it, or she just respects it or whatever. But I got that specific compliment over the past week.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not to be taken lightly, right? That's difficult. And the amount of value that it really brings to the world is, it should be acknowledged, right? I thought this through yesterday. You can become a leader without awareness, but it's projection and performance. Leadership with awareness is where good leaders are really born. Because when you're a good leader and you have awareness, that's what gives you the ability to feel into other people. Yeah. And feel, what do they need from me? That's awareness, that's empathy. So leadership without that is fake confidence, a show, but it's not a depth where people learn to trust who you are and where you're taking them. Yeah. It'll fall apart eventually.
Yeah. And that depth, a lot of that comes from vulnerability and authenticity. Because like what that girl told me, I love how self-aware you are. The only reason she could tell me that is because I have been very vulnerable and authentic with her. I even told her about my whole semen retention journey. I'm like, I don't care anymore about what anybody thinks about me. I mean, I'm saying that kind of cocky right now. Like, obviously I still have moments where, I might be scared to display myself in a certain way or whatever, but I'm getting so much better at just being honest with people. Yeah. And I am finding that is helping me connect to people on such a deeper level than I ever used to be able to. If you're struggling, if you're at the point where we were like 2 months ago, where it's like, oh, I'm approaching all these girls, but my conversations are just so surface level and they're so boring. Maybe just try honesty. And even if it feels like
this is weird,
I would never have thought I could tell a girl about something like that before, especially not a girl that I've known for less than 2 weeks. I don't care anymore. I don't care. And you know what it's done? What did I get from that? I was like, oh my God, I just love how self-aware you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because every guy's out there having surface level conversations. Be interesting. Have depth. Have presence.
What is depth and what is presence, right? In my mind, it's the ability to be fully yourself. Yeah. And when people see that, it's awe-inspiring to them. Yeah. It shows them that they can come back to themselves as well. For me, I like to go down this journey for myself, but also for others, to teach others how to walk down this path themselves. And what I'm leading people to is not girls. It's not whatever. It's how do you come back to yourself? And I used to think the definition of courage was the ability to step into tension in an embodied way, but I've changed my definition.
Here we go, baby. What is it?
Yeah. Courage is the choice to continue to show up to whatever it is. So the same courage that you use to sit with shame is the exact same thing that you do when you choose to walk up to a girl you find attractive. It's the same thing. You just chose to show up and be with what was in front of you. That's the only thing that courage is. That's the only thing you can really control when you go out. Did you show up? Did you try? You can't control your vibes some nights. Some nights you're going to be fantastic. Some nights you're not. Again, that stuff happens to you when you give it the space to.
Absolutely. And I've been going out every night. I'm really experiencing that.
Exactly. You're giving so much opportunity for it to arise. It can't not at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nights where it doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it's just because I'm so exhausted that my body just doesn't even have the energy to give. But then there's also nights where I feel that way when I start the night, but then I end up the night with fantastic energy. We actually did something last night that we haven't done in a very long time, I don't think.
What would we do?
We stayed out till 2 a.m. We did not go home early last night. We actually
I was
made
ready
it.
to go home early.
Yeah. I was having fun.
Yeah.
We went out to Sunbar again. We saw a fantastic set.
Yeah, we did see a really good show too.
Really good show last night. And even though I went out last night extremely tired, by the time I got to Sunbar and I was really vibing the music and feeling really good with the music, it gave me energy to go all the way to the end, which was good for me because I've actually been really struggling to enjoy like DJ sets lately, which has been a real bummer for me because that was basically my whole entire personality before I got to Arizona. It was like, I'm an EDM guy. I like going to raves and festivals and club shows. But since I got here, just because of all the difficulty I went through, that kind of stuff just I've been having trouble enjoying myself. But last night I was like, wow, I'm actually having fun. I'm really here with the music. I'm feeling the music in a way I never used to. Well, not in a way I'm feeling the music the way that I used to. And even better, the way I used to really feel it was with a lot of drug use. So now I'm really feeling it sober.
Nice.
It is nice. Hopefully I can really be as into the music sober on this journey as I ever was in the past when I was like high.
We're way over time.
I kind of figured that today was going to go a little long, but it's been such a crazy week of breakthroughs for us.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like you took a huge step up and you like pulled me up as well. I feel like I'm operating at a new level as a result.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh, just wait for the next 30 days and then the last 30 days. I can hear it in my voice. My voice sounds deeper.
The last 30 days, you're just going to be like,
yo,
hey, baby.
Things are getting exciting. And, you know, we haven't done a lot of like pitching or whatever because we've just been developing ourselves. But, you know, what you said, I think is a perfect encapsulation of what we can do for guys when we really do start taking the coaching side more seriously is like, we will bring you up. We will lift you up because this is what we have done and this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it's so important that we walk the talk. We've lived it. That's the only reason that we're going to be good at what we do.
Yeah. And we knew from the beginning like that for a while, our main focus was just on us and building ourselves up and getting to a point where we feel like, okay, we've kind of figured this thing out. And by no stretch of the imagination are we the best ever or we made it in any kind of sense, but what a step that we took this week. A huge, giant moon step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree.
And these first 30 days for me, they weren't even supposed to be about growth necessarily. They were supposed to be about death. It was supposed to be about the old me dying. And the old me has certainly died, at least a lot of layers of that. And so I feel like the next 60 days are actually going to be accelerated growth. That's what I am currently kind of envisioning for myself. And my 90-day challenge really starts to pick up now because the main focus of the first 30 days was getting clean. That's going to be a continued focus, but I'm clean now. So now, you know, it started with I had to do 1 approach a day the first week, 2 approaches a day the second week. That's easy. Child's play, right? Now, well, I'm on week 5, so I do 5 a day now. Things are going to start really picking up, and I can't wait to share the growth with everybody.
Oh, yeah. It'll be exciting.
Please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where you're going to get fire breakthroughs starting on the weekly now. I mean, it's always been fire.
I was going to say, it's always been fire. It's always been on the weekly, too.
It has been consistent, if nothing else, right? So, yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Come get this game. We want to help you the same way that we're helping ourselves. And let us know if you have any specific questions, specific topics that you want us to cover. Go out there and crush it this week. Set goals for yourself. Set standards for yourself and live them. I think that's been a big key theme for me this week.
Yeah.
I set a standard for myself and I'm living it. And that has changed everything for me.
I love that. Yeah.
So set your standard, go out there, live it, crush it, and we'll talk to you next week. Until then, go talk to some girls.
Peace.
Over the last 30 days, I have set a standard for myself, and then I lived up to that standard.
Being magnetic is not something you do. It's something that happens to you.
Attraction is not a choice. Attraction is an instinctual reaction.
The same courage that you use to sit with shame is the exact same thing that you do when you choose to walk up to a girl you find attractive.
I just watched her attraction for me grow. 30 days of going out every single night, absolutely life-changing. So I feel this level of confidence when I approach a girl that's like, I know you aren't getting other men like me, because I've gone through a profound identity shift. So I feel this level of confidence when I approach a girl that's like, I know you aren't getting other men like me, because I've gone through a profound identity shift. I am able to live my life in the way that I think is best. I set the standard.
Your body is the vessel from which magnetism arises. It's the portal from the energetic world to this world is your body, through your body. So if you want to be magnetic,
even if I have sex, I'm going to refrain from orgasm, at least for the rest of this 90 days. Like I'm talking a little slower, a little deeper, more confidently, with more conviction in my voice. No, that's not how it works. Just take the lead.
Feeling like I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, all this stuff. So I had to sit with some really, really dark, difficult emotions this week, and it sucked. The path of leadership and the path of healing are not different.
And two, I'm tired and I don't want to do it. So